Are you a student struggling to keep up with your lessons? Or a parent searching for a reliable educational resource that truly cares? You've come to the right place. Welcome to FEUNIX Distinctions, your premier channel for educational content designed for every learner. We understand the silent struggles that often go unnoticed, the frustration of slow-paced learners, and the need for solid foundations for all students. At FEUNIX Distinctions, we don't just teach. We are dedicated to guiding you every step of the way. Our teaching style is unique, simple, and incredibly effective. We make complex concepts easy to grasp and ensure that every lesson is both suitable and enjoyable, no matter your learning pace. Whether you're a fast learner looking for a new challenge or an average learner aiming to excel, our comprehensive methodology is built to support you. Join a community where no one is left behind. Subscribe to FEUNIX Distinctions today and hit the notification bell so you never miss a lesson. Let's make learning an exciting journey together.
We're moving from lesson 6 to lesson 7. Our topic still remains swords. We're still moving on with this topic and we'll soon finish it. So today we're going to be seeing the subtopic conjugates. Conjugates of a binomial sort. A binomial sword. Conjugate of a binomial sort. Without any waste of time, we are going to move into the examples. Example. Evaluate the following. Evaluate the following. 1. 1/2 minus root 3. 1/2 minus root 3. So if we look at the denominator, we have 2 minus root 3 there. We are going to work on the denominator, and that's what makes it to be a conjugate. So let's recopy this question. 1/2 minus root 3. What we will do is to multiply the numerator and the denominator by the conjugate of the denominator. Please, you will see what I'm saying now. This is the conjugate of the denominator. In the denominator, we have two numbers. In between the two numbers, there is a sign. This is what you have to take note of. If the sign is minus, then we are going to use plus. If the sign here in the middle is plus, we'll use minus for our multiplication. So that is to say, we'll multiply the numerator and the denominator by the conjugate of the denominator. Let's do this multiplication now. This will be 2 plus root 3 all over 2 plus root 3. Yes, I said it. If this place is minus, it's plus that we'll be using for the numerator and denominator. While if it is plus, it's minus we are going to be using to multiply the numerator and the denominator. That's what we are going to be doing. That's just the working principle for today's work. So let's move on. So at this point, if you are having multiplication, numerator will multiply numerator, denominator will multiply denominator. Just as we did in lesson 6, expansion of brackets. So here we go. 1 times anything is that thing. So let's move on. This will be 1 times 2 1 times 2 is 2, plus 1 times root 3 is root 3, all over these two multiply the first one here, these two multiply the second one, then the second one now will multiply the first one, the second one will multiply the second one. That's what we did in expansion. So we're expanding this. So 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times root 3 is plus 2 root 3. Minus root 3, that's the second one, times 2 is minus 2 root 3. And minus root 3 times plus root 3 is plus root 9. Let's move on. So this will be 2 plus root 3 over, here's our 4, plus 2 root 3 minus 2 root 3 will be 0. The same number is subtracting the same number is 0. So no point of writing 0. And then this is this very plus here. Root 9 is 3. Please, let's correct something. Minus times plus is minus. So this place is not plus. Let's correct it now. Let's correct it. This is minus. That is to say, this is this very 4 here. And then this minus. This place will definitely be minus. Let's move on. This is now going to be 2 plus root 3 over 4 minus 3, which is 1. This is the same thing as 2 plus root 3. And that's our answer. Let's have another example, example 2. Example 2 says 4 over 3 plus root 7. We'll repeat the same process. 4 over 3 plus root 7. We are going to multiply the numerator and the denominator by the conjugates. So from what I said in example 1, if this place is plus, we are going to use minus. We are going to multiply the numerator and the denominator by the denominator. But if this place is plus, we'll use minus in our multiplication. So what would the number be? The number will be 3 minus root 7 over 3 minus root 7. That's the number we're going to multiply the numerator and denominator with. So this 4 will multiply everything in the numerator, and what we have here will multiply everything that is here. Let's start with the numerator. This will be 4 times 3 is 12. 4 times minus 7 is minus 4 root 7. All over 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times minus 7 is minus 3 root 7. Plus root 7 times 3 will be plus 3 root 7. And plus root 7 times minus root 7 is minus root 49. We move on. This will now be our numerator 12 minus 4 root 7 all over 9 minus root 3 plus root 3 is 0 because the numbers are the same. Negative and positive, the same number is 0. So minus root 49 is minus 7 because square root of 49 is 7. And now we have our 12 minus 4 root 7 all over 2. We will have stopped here, but we can be able to factor out 2 here. 2 is common in 12 and 4. So when we factor out 2, we'll be left with 6 here. Here is our minus. When we factor out 2 here, we'll be left with 2 here. Root 7 all over 2. So now these 2 and these 2, they can cancel. 2 here, 1. 2 here, 1. What we are now left with is 6 minus 2 root 7. We can leave our answer like this. Or if we want to further factor out 2, because 2 is still common here. If we factor out 2, this place will now be 3 minus root 7. Because we factor out 2. 2 is common here and here. 2 bracket 3 minus root 7. 2 bracket 3 minus root 7. That's our answer. Let's solve one more example before the work. Example 3. Root 3 plus root 6 all over 3 root 2 minus 3. Let's get the conjugate of this sort. This will be root 3 plus root 6 over 3 root 2 minus 3. We are going to multiply the numerator and the denominator by the conjugate of the denominator. So if you are so familiar with what we have been doing, you will know that this minus will just turn to plus, and then we'll make use of it. So what's the number we'll multiply with? That will be 3 root 2 plus 3 all over 3 root 2 plus 3. That's the number we multiply with. So let's start our multiplication. The first number here, multiply the first, then that same number will multiply the second as usual. So root 3 times 3 root 2. This 3 will multiply the one that is in front. Then that will be 3 root 3 times 2, 6. Then root 3 again times the second one. That will be plus 3 root 3. Then we move to the second one. That will be root 6 times 3 root 2. That will be 3 root 12. Because 2 times 6 is 12. Plus root 6 times 3. That will be 3 root 6. Everything all over root 3. 3 root 2 times 3 root 2. 3 times 3, 9. Root 2 times root 2, that is root 4. This number will multiply this one again. That will be plus 3 times 3 is 9 root 2. Let's go to the second number. Minus 3 times 3 root 2. That will be minus 3 times 3 is 9 root 2. And then minus 3 times 3, it will be minus 9. Let's move on. So you can see in the numerator, this number and this number are like terms. I can bring them close to each other. 3 root 6 plus 3 root 6. They are like terms. This number are like terms. That is why I brought them closer. And then this is our plus 3 root 3. And then this is our plus 3 root 12. Everything all over 9 times 2. Where did we get this 2? Square root of 4 is 2. Then plus 9 root 2 minus 9 root 2 and then minus 9. 3 root 6 plus 3 root 6. These are like terms. We can be able to plus them. That's what we'll have learned in lesson 2. That the number inside the roots, if they are the same, they are like terms. 3 root 6 plus 3 root 6 will give us 6 root 6. You plus the ones outside and you pick one of the ones in the roots that are the same. So 3 plus 3 is 6. And we pick one of the root 6. That gave us 6 root 6. And then this is the next. That is plus 3 root 3. And this is plus 3 root. I can expand this 12 to give me 4 times 3. Because 4 have roots. That's why I want to factor it out. Everything all over 9 times 2, 18. 18. Now plus 9 root 2 minus 9 root 2 will be 0. Because they are the same number. The same number, positive and negative, is 0. Plus 9 root 2 minus 9 root 2 is 0. So here is our minus 9. We're getting closer. So this is the numerator again. 6 root 6 plus 3 root 3 plus 3 times 2 root 3. What happened here? Square root of 4 is 2. So we take square root of 4, that is why it goes out of the square root. It goes out of the square root, and look at it here, 2. And then this is our square root, and this 3 is still inside the square root. Everything all over 18 minus 9 is 9. Here's our 6 root 6 plus 3 root 3 plus 6 root 3, because 3 times 2 is 6. Everything all over 9. So at this point we can see that this one and this very number, they are like terms, because the number inside the roots are the same. So we can plus and we can subtract. We can recopy this number 6 root 6, then 3 root 3 plus 6 root 3. Since they are like terms, the numbers outside will plus themselves, then we'll pick one of the numbers inside the roots. So 3 plus 6 is 9. 9 root 3. 9 root 3 all over 9. At this point, we can check if there is something we can factor out here. Something that is common. Yes, 3 is common. 3 is common here and here. So if you factor out 3, open bracket, 3 into 6 is 2 root 6. Here is our plus. 3 will go into 9 3 times, and this is our root 3 here, all over 9. So at this point, we check if there is something that can go here and here. Then we reduce it. Which 3 can go? 3 here, 1, 3 here, 3. So we are now left with 2 root 6 plus 3 root 3 all over 3. That's our answer. So at this point, I'm going to leave you with an assignment. I'll leave you with an assignment. Simplify the following. Simplify the following by rationalizing the denominator. That's this very conjugate that we have learned. Question 1. 2 over 3 root 5 plus 4. This is the first question you try for me. Question number 2. 2 root 3 plus 2 over 2 root 3 minus 2. Question number 3. Root 5 plus 3 over 4 minus root 10. Question number 4. 2 root 5 plus root 3 over 5 root 3 minus 3 root 5. Question number 5. Root 3 minus root 2 over root 3 plus root 2, everything square. Do this assignment. In our next class, that will be the first thing we are going to treat. I'm going to give you the correct answer, then you mark it for wherever you are. I will write the correct answer as the first thing to do in lesson 8 before we start the teaching in lesson 8. And we'll do that unfailingly. So thank you. I will encourage you to click the subscription button. Also click like and click share. It's very important. Do have a nice day. Goodbye.